I, Augustine Washington, being sick and weak, but of perfect sense and memory, do make my last will and testament in the manner following. I give unto my son Lawrence Washington and his heirs forever all that plantation and tract of land at Huntington Creek, all the slaves, cattle, and stock of all kinds whatsoever. I give unto my daughter Betty a Negro child named Betty, daughter of Judy. I give unto my son George Washington and his heirs the land I now live on, which I purchased, and 10 Negro slaves. In the name of God, amen.
Well, Washington, from the time he was 11 years old, owned human beings. And it's something that he grew up with, certainly. And it all revolved in his family, as most families in the Chesapeake, around agriculture and the labor required to grow large quantities of tobacco, which is a very labor-intensive crop. So from a very early age, Washington was surrounded by slaves.
His parents owned slaves. His grandparents had been slave owners. His older brothers were slave owners. Slave owning was common in the northern neck of Virginia where Washington grew up. It was just an accustomed part of life.
George Washington grew up among Virginia's slave-holding aristocracy. Though he was a fourth-generation American, he fashioned himself in the mold of an English gentleman with dancing lessons and fencing lessons. Like most wealthy Virginians, Washington looked to England for social custom, architecture, music, and taste. The book he studied most was Rules of Civility and Decent Behavior in Company and Conversation, a self-improvement manual compiled for 16th century noblemen. But 3,000 miles of ocean separated the colonies from Britain, and Americans were moving towards an identity that was all their own. Ambitious men like Washington's father had married into wealth, bought slaves, cleared the land, and farmed it for profit. Their sons would do the same.